Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing out there today? I hope that you're doing well. I know we're in a tough spot in America right now, but hey, I still hope that you're doing good. So we are right now currently in the middle of one of Donald Trump's little pipe dream fantasies about how he's going to bring manufacturing back to America. And unfortunately, a huge portion of America's population is falling for it and taking us along for the ride with them. So the unfortunate side effect is all of America, if not a huge portion of the world, is just caught up in this absolute mess of a supply chain that we are really about to start seeing hit us at home. It's always just one weird Donald Trump fantasy after another now, isn't it? As a side note, I don't know if it's an original thought, but I used to call him Don Quixote because he's always out there fighting with the damn windmills, right? Now he's out here fighting with China and Canada and Mexico and some island with penguins. The list just goes on and on of pointless, nonsensical fights that Donald Trump gets us into. But as we know, his big promise is that he's going to bring manufacturing back to America. And I've been sitting here thinking about this all day. I haven't even turned on any news today. So if all hell has broke loose out there, I don't even know it yet. I am blissfully ignorant to whatever Donald Trump is up to today because I'm still dealing with the shit he did yesterday and the day before and the day before. There's a backlog of fucking nonsense coming out of Donald Trump. But anyways, I've been sitting here all morning thinking about this whole plan to bring manufacturing back to America and how monumentally stupid and unproductive this entire thing is. And I've also sat here thinking about the actual good industries that America has to offer to the world, because when you look at it, we really do have some big industries out there that are worldwide that we could be leaning into instead of trying to go back in time to, I don't know, child labor and no labor laws and things like that Donald Trump wants to bring back to America. So first I want to talk about all this bullshit that they're trying to sell us about the short-term pain for the long-term gain. And if you actually bought into that, you would be looking for something monumental, something huge to come out of what's about to happen to America in very, very short time. We're talking about empty store shelves, panic buying, and that may just be the beginning of what's going to happen, because as we know, you don't just shut down a supply chain and then just restart the motherfucker and it starts working again, right? So you would expect, if you're going to go through all this trouble of going bankrupt, getting laid off from your job, going hungry, being thirsty, maybe getting the electricity shut off at your house, you would expect that gain to be fucking huge, right? You want a massive return on what the fuck just happened to you. And the long story short, you're not going to see that, because let's say Donald Trump was right, which he's not. The long-term gain is absolute fucking bullshit. What we're talking about is bringing mass manufacturing back to America. Never mind that we've already discussed that Donald Trump doesn't actually have a plan for it. You know how Donald Trump just says shit and then nothing fucking happens? He just says, this is what I'm gonna make America great again, and then nothing happens. I'm gonna lower the price of eggs, and then nothing happens. I'm going to end the war with Ukraine within 24 hours, and then nothing happens, right? All he does is talk. He's all talk. That's what that guy is. He's all fucking talk. But what we're actually talking about is mass manufacturing coming back to America. Now, it might make sense in some cases, say in terms of the CHIPS Act, where Joe Biden was trying to get high-tech manufacturing jobs that maybe could be careers. We'd have to see how it shakes out. Maybe higher paying jobs having to do with manufacturing in the technology sector, which, you know, obviously makes sense. If Donald Trump meant what he said about bringing manufacturing back to America, he wouldn't have killed the CHIPS Act. That's 100% true. But what Donald Trump and his followers are talking about is fucking sewing your shoes together. Do you want to do that? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about mass manufacturing where you sit there for fucking 11 hours a day sewing shoes together with some middle management jackass that watches all of your statistics and tells you that your performance review isn't going to be that good if you can't pick up the pace, because in this factory we hold you to a standard of, I don't know, 600 stitches per hour, and if you can't pick up the pace on that, if you can't get up to the right amount of productivity, you're not going to get a good performance review. And by the way, a good performance review translates to a 10-cent an hour raise, which if you're doing the math on a 40-hour work week is $4 per week. Try not to spend it all in one place. We are asking for bullshit jobs. We are in America right now begging for absolute bullshit jobs with bullshit wages to come back. And I don't know what the fuck happened to this country. We apparently got no fighting spirit anymore, because I tell you that our grandparents and our great-grandparents didn't fight with and die because of wealthy business owners fighting for the workers' rights of future generations, good wages for everybody involved in the workforce, so that you could wake up 2 generations later and suck the tit of a billionaire to offer the first billionaire to offer you a low-paying job. And I hate when I fuck up the punchlines, because that would have came out real buttery smooth if I would have fucking said it right, and I didn't, and now I'm mad about it, okay? Now I'm grumpy about it. This is the biggest pile of shit I've ever heard in my life. Here's what they're going to do. In the event that they bring manufacturing back to America, first thing they're going to do is move this to the poorer locations in America. You know, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama. They're going to get all kinds of manufacturing jobs if Donald Trump's fantasy were to play out. And a lot of you might be going, hell yeah, this is fucking amazing. This is going to be such a great thing. You know why they're doing that in those areas? So they can exploit you, so they can take advantage of you. And how many of you, when you were a kid, said, you know what, when I grow up, I want to sew shoes together for fucking the next 50 years for bullshit wages, living paycheck to paycheck, barely making ends meet, and never seeing anything, working 60 hours a week, never having time to enjoy myself. Nobody fucking said that. Nobody said that. And it bothers me that our grandparents and great-grandparents fought for us to have fucking rights in the workplace, and we're just surrendering them right now for the absolute nonsense that Donald Trump is peddling to Americans. But the point is, it's not coming back. Manufacturing is not coming back to America, all right? A point I meant to make that I kind of skipped over is these Republicans are notoriously against unions for some fucking reason. So they're 100% going to take advantage of you that way too. You're not going to make any more money. The long-term gain is that. That's what you want? $11, $12 an hour, 60-hour work week, paycheck to paycheck existence, pissing your life away for the next 50 years under fluorescent fucking tubes while you fucking sew shit together. By the time you're done, your hands are like hooks because that's all you did for your entire life. And that's the long-term gain that you want in the self-proclaimed best and richest country in the world. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that's what they tell us it is, all right? And we don't demand better for ourselves, because there is better. Listen, I'm going to explain that shit now, okay? Because America actually does have industries that are worldwide, that we're not fucking leaning into. These are the things we should be paying attention to. Instead of trying to drive the country back to the early 1900s where we all go slave away in a fucking sweatshop, maybe, hear me out on this, we should move forward. We should make progress in America and lean into the things that we're actually really good at, because we are good at a lot of things, and I think we overlook that. So I came up with a list of things that America does well, so we don't have to follow this crazy dream of Chinese sweatshops all over America, because to me that sounds like a horrible idea. And I want to tell you, this isn't an all-inclusive list. I will definitely miss some things that we do well out there, and things that we could improve on, and things we could do better. And I'm not a shill for any of the things I'm going to mention. The only reason I'm mentioning these things is because they are actual industry that exists in America, that is American grown and made, and we could really run with these things instead of dedicating our lives to sitting there in a factory all day while we get judged by how much work we did, okay? One thing America really excels at is agriculture. You know why? Because we've got so much damn open space in this country, absolutely tons of it. And while Donald Trump is trying to stomp out all of our farmers on behalf of J.D. Vance and Acre Trader, that may be the wrong direction to go with all of this. Maybe, just maybe, we should spend more time educating young people on farming and agriculture and things like that. Or maybe instead of Elon Musk stomping out all the government grants and loans that farmers can get to start a farm or expand their farm or keep their farm alive, we should keep doing that shit so that we have many more generations of American farmers in these vast, wide open spaces we have all over the country. And I'll be honest with you, if somebody told me they would give me a grant or a loan and I could go be a farmer, I just might jump on that fucking idea, because I'm sick of driving a truck, if I'm being honest with you. But with all this vast open space, we're worried about if we can have a factory that we don't want to work in anyways for low wages. It seems like a crazy thing to do. And also, the next thing I want to talk about is our military. And what I'm talking about, while I talk about these things, is obviously the industry, but all the industry surrounding these things going on out there. And when you talk about America's military, obviously you can join the military. I am not talking about expanding the military and taking over the world or anything like that. What I'm saying is our military relies on so much technology and advancing technology if you want to stay ahead of the game, right? So obviously you can join the military and get some pretty good benefits out of that. That's a personal choice you should make all by yourself without any input from me, because I don't fucking know what you should do. But it's more so all the technology surrounding all of it. Shouldn't we be training our young people to be technologically advanced? That's what China did recently, and be able to keep up with the constant changing technology of America. Not to mention the Trump administration has already said that most of these factories that they're envisioning in their heads are all going to be automated anyways. They're not actually bringing jobs. They're just bringing factories here that are automated. So anyways, the technology surrounding the military and the industries that could be built off of that could expand overseas, where other countries may be wanting to buy maybe a slightly older technology that we've come up with. You know, we have to win the technology battle at this point. This isn't the fucking answer. Isn't fucking taking over sweatshops. That's not the fucking answer to the future of America. Another big thing I thought about is our own infrastructure right here in America, right? We're talking, when you say infrastructure, you're talking about insane fucking things. Just the amount of stuff that the word infrastructure means is absolutely insane. But as a truck driver, there are places in this country that are still in desperate need of an interstate highway system. It just doesn't run there. You're trying to go around that area and you got to go 300 miles south to get around to to where the interstate is. There's interstates that could still be built in this country. There's infrastructure is so massive, and then the maintaining of it, right? These are much higher paying jobs than factory work, than manufacturing work in most cases. I'm not talking about like high-end manufacturing of high-end products. I'm talking about the basic bullshit that we don't even worry about in our everyday life, that just shows up by boat and we pay for it, and that's the way it's worked for a long time. But like, what about high-speed rail? I mean, why aren't we doing something like that? That's insane. A rail that will take you from Chicago to LA in 3 hours. That seems a little extreme. I don't know how many miles per hour you have to be going to do that. Maybe somebody could do the math on that and tell me, or maybe I'll do it later when I'm thinking about it. But high-speed rail, commuting, better ways to commute than like city bus. Have you ever tried to use the RTD in Denver? It's a fucking nightmare. All these things bring actual, real, sustainable jobs to fucking Americans. Whatever this other bullshit is. We could modernize airports even more, you know, hire more air traffic controllers, because Donald Trump's out there crashing planes into other planes because he's letting Elon Musk fire the air traffic controllers. That was nice. We all forgot about that, right? It's one catastrophe after a fucking another. But we could invest so much in our own infrastructure and become a modern country, because we are falling behind, my friends. And this last one is going to sound fucking silly, but I want you to hear me out, because it's actually big fucking business. America is a huge leader in the world in entertainment. Entertainment as a general fucking term, right? Hollywood, movies, TV shows. And look, I know some smartass on the other end of the internet right now is saying, what are you suggesting we all just become movie stars or NFL quarterbacks or something like that? No, what I'm saying is there's so much industry built around these fucking things. Entertainment is a real business. It's legit. Like, entertainment in general is a massive fucking industry. The world consumes our entertainment, our movies, our TV shows, even our musicians, which is kind of weird because our music kind of jumped the shark when we started doing mumble rap. And what's funny about that, what I like about that observation, is because it shows how multi-generational I am, my friends. Some of you know what jump the shark means, where only some of you know what the hell mumble rap is. I extend over multiple generations, my friends. I understand both of those things. But our musicians are worldwide, world fucking famous. And the industry, the economy that comes off of just them, right? And the NFL, the Major League Baseball, NHL, where we hang out with Canadians a lot while we watch hockey. I guess we all like hockey. I haven't watched hockey in a long fucking time. NASCAR for some fucking reason, right? We are kings of fucking entertainment. And I know that sounds fucking silly, but it's big, huge fucking business. The reason I bring all of this up is because, like I said, this is not an all-inclusive list. It's not by far. There are probably many, many more things that America does well. And what we're doing instead is we're bringing the fucking supply chain to a fucking halt. We are going to cost millions of Americans their jobs while this all gets sorted out. And we're focusing on the wrong fucking thing. That's what we really want, is manufacturing plants all over America, shitty jobs that we don't want to fucking go to anyways, where they don't pay us near enough to put up with their bullshit. To me, it sounds like a fucking waste and sounds like a lack of focus. Also, one more thing I wanted to bring up, I forgot. Video games. I know that sounds silly. I got my PS5 right there, right? We have some of the best game studios in the world right here in America, putting out the biggest titles the world's ever seen. This is another investment in technology. I mean, education. We, instead of demonizing education by the Republican Party, we should be celebrating that shit. Because fucking 100 people go in, I don't know how big game studios are, but 30 people, 100 people go in and they put their heads together and they put out this game that rakes in $1 billion fucking dollars. That's a little bit of an economic stimulation now, isn't it? I know some of this sounds a little bit silly, and I feel silly uploading this video, if I'm being honest with you, because I'm talking about NFL and video games as a replacement to factories. Not necessarily. But what I'm saying is we're barking up the wrong fucking tree. We are begging the government to bring back shit jobs, and that doesn't make a bit of fucking sense to me. There's so much more we could be doing than just waiting for that paycheck to paycheck job to show up in America. And you know what? Even if you are laughing at me and you are not taking what I'm saying seriously, look, I did better than Donald Trump. I presented concepts of a plan, and that's a whole lot better than he ever fucking did for us. Anyways, I gotta get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.